Lastly, in section 3.3, we are tasked with writing a polynomial given the roots, sort of like working backwards from what we've learned so far. In this example, we're given the roots of -2 and 2 plus the square root of 5. So to write a polynomial equation, what we need to do is first understand that our roots are found from factors where if we plugged in these values, we would get 0. And so our first factor would look like x minus -2. This factor right here would simplify to x plus 2, which if I put in -2 for x, I would get 0. Our next factor is going to look a little bit more complicated. We're going to have x minus 2 plus the square root of 5. And just like when we had complex roots, where we had a number plus an imaginary number, with radicals, these come in conjugate pairs as well. So if we know that 2 plus the square root of 5 is a root, we also have to consider that 2 minus the square root of 5 is a root. And so we must use that when building our polynomial. Afterwards, it's important that we use really good simplification skills to multiply all this together. I'm going to go step by step to make sure that you've got this example here. So we'll do x times x, we'll get x squared, x times -2 minus the square root of 5, and that will look like -x parentheses 2 minus the square root of 5. Now let's distribute this -2 plus the square root of 5 to this x. That should get us -x parentheses 2 plus the square root of 5. And then -2 plus square root of 5 times -2 minus the square root of 5. That should get us positive 2 plus square root of 5 times 2 minus square root of 5. And let's close our parentheses that we started back here. All right, wow, that's a lot. Let's get this simplified. We've already simplified our first parentheses, so let's do the same here. So we'll start with x squared minus, we're going to start distributing here, so 2x plus x square root 5. Let's distribute the -x here, so we'll get minus 2x again, minus x square root of 5. Okay, we got to FOIL or distribute here, so we'll do 2 times 2, which will be 4, 2 times -square root of 5, which will be -2 square root of 5, square root of 5 times 2, positive 2 square root of 5, and the square root of 5 times -square root of 5. So we'll get -5, because that would get us the square root of 25, which is just 5. All right, looking better at least from the parentheses front. So to simplify this even further, let's first start by canceling out any terms that we see that are opposite of each other. So we have a positive x square root of 5 here, and a -x square root of 5. Those cancel out. Same with the -2 square root of 5 and the positive 2 square root of 5. So now we're left with just a couple of terms here. I see x squared, -2x minus 2x would be -4x, and positive 4 minus 5 would get us -1. Phew, looking a lot better. All right, now all we have to do is some more distribution, and we're on our way to a simplified answer. So let's distribute x to the second parentheses. We'll get x to the third minus 4x squared minus x. And we have to do the same with 2, so 2 positive 2x squared minus 8x minus 2. Almost there. If we combine like terms, so we have x to the third, looks like we have negative 4x squared and 2x squared, so that should be negative 2x squared. Negative x minus 8x should be negative 9x minus 2. We finally have a polynomial equation in standard form that would have the roots of negative 2 and 2 plus the square root of 5, which would be our answer. Again, in the checkup section, I'll show at least one more worked out example of this.